Hey guys, what's going on? I am Matt O'Leary back with another video, and today we are getting into a couple of interesting Joe Klecko quotes. So Joe Klecko was just announced to the Hall of Fame, long overdue. This guy deserved to be a Hall of Famer a long time ago. Extremely happy for him, but when he was announced in an interview, he was asked about his thoughts on Aaron Rodgers coming to the New York Jets, and well, he doesn't really like that idea, and not in the slightest. We'll go through it together. We'll read the quotes, we'll discuss, and yeah, let's hop into it. When asked if he would like Aaron Rodgers, he said, "No, I wouldn't. I don't see a guy like Rodgers fitting in with that mentality of them kids and everything like that. I could be wrong. He's a tremendous quarterback. He's a smart guy. I just think he could be more of a detriment. I really do." He followed that up by saying he has that condescending attitude about, "Why did you give up on the route? Don't stop." Klecko specified, saying Rodgers wouldn't mesh with the Jets' young talent. You could see it on his face on the field, how he gets upset with players. Is he a great player? Absolutely. I just don't see him fitting. It takes a certain personality really to make things work. Now, that is an interesting quote and an interesting perspective that we really haven't seen yet. And I understand where he is coming from on it. I really do, coming from a former player's perspective. And I do have a ton of respect for Joe Klecko, just as a player and just as a person. So I'm always curious to see what his opinion is on things, but this doesn't really change my feelings on it. And unfortunately, Joe Klecko doesn't really give an alternative. So it would have been nice to hear. I don't think Joe Flacco, Jesus. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is the right option here, but player X is. And as we talked about yesterday, in yesterday's video, the Jets don't really have a ton of options. Derek Carr, by all indications, looks like he is heading towards the Saints. Unless something drastically happens in the next few days, the Saints are the only team that he's met with, and he's met with them twice. And if he's met with them, that means a package is in place for a trade. So it seems like the Saints are going to be the fit. That leaves Aaron Rodgers, and then a big step down after that. The other two options that you can go with, really, like behind, if you're ranking them, would probably be Jimmy G next. And I get the argument. Jimmy G, whenever he plays, he wins a ton of games. He's a good player. Is he an elite or a great player? No, but I think he's solid. He's a good quarterback. The issue with Jimmy G is injuries. He misses a ton of time, seemingly every year. There's only been one season in 2019 when he's played the entirety of the year without getting hurt. He missed time this past year. He missed time in 2020. He missed time in 2021. Even before that, when he first got there. And he's been with the 49ers for 6 seasons, and he's only played one full season. That's not a red flag to anybody. I think it has to be. It has to be, because if you are going to say the Jets need to make the playoffs in 2023, which that has to be the goal. You need to take that next step. They went from 2 wins to 4 wins to 7, and the collapse at the end of the year really hurt things. But the Jets are on track for where they need to be right now. They just need to take that next step, get over the hump, win double-digit games, and be a playoff team. I think there's a good chance that they do it. If Jimmy G comes and plays a full season, yes, I think that's, they're pretty likely to do that. I am just not confident in Jimmy being able to do that, because he has only been able to do it once in his entire career. He's been in the league 9 years. He's been in the league 9 years. It's not like he's a 3-year quarterback. It's like, oh, he had some bad injury luck at the start of his career. He's a veteran. He's been in the league almost a decade, and he gets hurt all the time. And then Ryan Tannehill after that, I don't love that option. He's taken a step back the last couple of years. He really hasn't been great, without Arthur Smith. Arthur Smith leaves, goes to the Falcons. And yeah, this past year, their offensive line is arguably one of the worst in football. And I understand that's a good argument to make when trying to make the case for Ryan Tannehill. But the year before that, he also wasn't really that good. He had 2 solid years when he first got there, and then the next year with the Tennessee Titans. But he's also 35 now. He's older. He's a much older player and not at the same level as someone like an Aaron Rodgers or a Derek Carr. I think those guys are in their own tier. And then there's a next step down after that. And if you don't want any of those two guys, are you going to run it back with Mike White? I guess in theory, okay, but that's another guy who's gotten hurt a ton. It's just the reality. He's played 9 games, and he had to leave with an injury in the Cincinnati game. It happened against the Buffalo Bills. He got hurt against Buffalo this year. He gets banged up a lot. Indianapolis last year, he gets banged up a lot, and that has to play a factor in it. You can't run it back with Zach Wilson. You need to bring some sort of veteran in here. Geno's probably staying with the Seahawks. Daniel Jones is probably staying with the Giants. Lamar Jackson, I don't think is a realistic option because I don't think they're trading him. One, I don't think they're trading him. But number two, if they were, I think he's going to the NFC. Who's left? I don't know. So while I appreciate Joe Klecko's opinion on it, and there are certain things about Rodgers that I don't love, is he not the best option? Like, is he a perfect option? No. You could come up with red flags and you could come up with things that scare you about him, but a detriment? I would not be willing to go as far to call it a detriment. I think that's a bit extreme for me. I don't like that wording, a detriment. I think it would be a detriment to run it back with Zach Wilson. I think it'd be a detriment to take a middle of the road quarterback swing. Pretty much, honestly, if it's not Carr or Rodgers, I think that's a pretty big detriment. Those are the two guys to me who stand above and beyond the rest of this quarterback class and the veteran market. But man, sorry, Joe Klecko, I don't agree. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments what you think about these quotes from Joe Klecko. Do you stand with Joe Klecko or are you in on Aaron Rodgers? Sound off below. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I am Matt O'Leary. I'll catch you next time.